All right, I've got 5:45, so we'll call the meeting to order. If everyone would stand for a moment of silence and the pledge. Madam Recorder, if you'd call the roll.
Chairman Floyd.
Present.
Vice Chair Harrison.
Present.
Deborah Thomas.
Present.
Jeremy Burnett. Michelle Childs.
We do have a quorum. Dr. Horrell, would you lead us through our agenda?
Absolutely. The first item on the agenda is the opportunity for public comment.
Anyone from the public like to speak? Hearing none. Next item.
Next item is our reports section, starting with the chairman's welcome.
I'd like to welcome everyone to our May business meeting. It's a busy time of the year. School's wrapping up. We just finished TCAP, and it's hard to believe that this year is coming to an end. At some point, it felt like it never would with COVID and everything else that we were doing. Our teachers and administrators and students and parents have done an amazing job dealing with everything that they had to deal with this year, and it's been an honor and a pleasure to see everybody work together to accomplish what we've accomplished under these circumstances. It's been quite remarkable. Having said that, we'll move to the next business item. Dr. Horrell.
Next item is the TLN representative update. Ms. Childs.
Hi, yes. Okay, last week the General Assembly finished their business. There really wasn't so far anything major that happened since I reported on it last week. However, I will make mention that last week I talked about SB 915, HB 1072, and there was a proposal of an amendment that would prevent local governments from suing the state based on the constitutionality of the law, but that did not end up occurring. The amendment, as it stands in law, only allows the state to appeal and then go through the appeals process. So it did not, the amendment I mentioned last week never happened. And there were a few last minute items on education that came through at the last minute last week. So if there's anything of interest, our association, Tennessee School Board Association, will be giving us more information, and I'll report back on that later if there's anything that's substantial.
Thank you for that report. Any questions for the TLN representative? Hearing none. Next item.
All right, next item is the superintendent's report. I would like to make an introduction, but first I'll go over or present the April 2021 financial summary, which you have before you. As you can see, as we get closer to the end of the actual school year, some of the line items start to wind down, the ones that we pay for over the 10-month period, and everything else kind of goes through the summer, but we're in good shape financially, nothing to highlight in the financial report.
Any questions for the superintendent on the financial report?
I have one. So the payment to the city, what does that hit in May or June? When does that actually hit for the $700,000? I don't know if you know. I just saw it April, and I wasn't sure if it hit in May or June because I wasn't sure which category.
We've done the one for this fiscal year, so it won't hit until after July. It'll be at least July 1. I think it may be August 15th or September, maybe even.
It's between July 1st and July 15th of this year and next year, and then it'll be paid in full.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Any other questions for the superintendent? Hearing none. Next item.
I would like to, as part of my report, make an introduction of somebody that I know the board has been eager to meet, and I know a lot of community members will be eager to meet. And she is with us today, and I think I'm going to put two people on the spot. Mr. Adler, will you introduce Ms. Decker to us just very briefly? You will have to hold down the button.
It is my honor and my privilege to introduce Miss Gina Decker. She comes to us from Millington Municipal School District. She has a lengthy amount of admin experience at the high school level, at district office, and she is going to be a tremendous asset with joining our team to help build our high school and build programs for our kids and make our school continue to be exemplary, and we're in good hands with Gina Decker. So without further ado, here's Gina Decker.
We'll put you on the spot. You can just say hello and introduce yourself to the board. No need for a presentation or anything, certainly.
It's a good thing. No, I'm very excited to be here. In case you couldn't tell in talking with you guys tonight, I look forward to building on everything that's already been laid in place by your leaders and making this the best school district for our high schoolers, and supporting the teachers that are doing the hard work. As we were talking about earlier, they've had one heck of a year, and like I said, I can't wait to serve the students in the community here.
Thank you so much. Perfect. And I just want to say on behalf of the school system, and I know the Board of Education, we welcome you to Lakeland. We can't wait for you to get started in earnest in July. I know there's a lot to do, but we also know that we had a lot of terrific candidates, frankly, but you rose to the top with your combination of appropriate experiences and just your demeanor and your approach and your work ethic that really stood out from what we learned from you and everybody we spoke with. So we can't wait to get you here in Lakeland. I know you're not far from there, but and get you started. But thank you so much for being here with us and saying hello.
Welcome, and I'm a little biased, but I think you're joining the best school system in Tennessee, so welcome aboard. Earl?
And shouldn't be a long meeting, but please don't feel like you need to stay. The best parts have already happened, I'm sure. Right? That's what we say sometimes. All right, the next item is the approval of the agenda, Mr. Chairman.
Any additions to the agenda? Any changes to the agenda? With no objection, the agenda is approved. Next item.
Next item is the consent agenda. We have 6 items on the consent agenda: the approval of minutes from the April 12th business meeting, discussion action on the FY 21-22 budget revision, discussion action on the 21-22 school fees, discussion action on 21-22 textbook fines, discussion action on the internal control manual, discussion action on the uniform grants guidance manual.
Is there a motion to get this item on the floor?
I'll move.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item.
Next, we move into the discussion section of the agenda. First is discussion action on FY 2021 budget amendments.
Is there a motion to get this item on the floor?
I'll move.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Dr. Horrell?
These amendments deal exclusively with what we call our learning camps. These are the legislature-created summer learning opportunities for our students. That's nearly $311,000, and it just details how those funds will be expended this summer.
Any discussion on this item?
Which ESSER was this? Was this for these 2.0 or 3.0?
This is actually independent of ESSER.
Independent of ESSER.
Independent of the ESSER funds that we got. I think it's possible that they're from the state ESSER funds, but
Right.
it's a different pot of money for us.
Any other questions or discussion?
So for clarification, if the amount is not, I mean, I know this has to be specific spent to the learning camps. If the total amount is not expended, will it be able to go to future learning camps, or is it use it or lose it kind of funds?
It's use it or lose it kind of funds, and we don't intend to lose it. We don't believe we will, the way we have them staffed, but they are use it or lose it, and they are reimbursement, so we have to be able to pay up front.
Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item.
Next item is discussion action on 21-22 school board meeting dates.
Is there a motion to get this item on the floor?
I'll move.
We have a second.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Dr. Horrell, would you like to introduce this item?
I would. We worked through most of the meeting dates. We had one date that, well, two dates really that were in question. One was whether we wanted to have a meeting on Valentine's Day, which is a Monday, February 14th. I didn't hear from anyone who objected to that date, although, Mr. Chairman, you were not here and may have a thought on that. And then the other date that we're recommending was rescheduling from Monday, September 6th to Tuesday, September 7th, because I'll be unavailable the next week for the reschedule. We only have one meeting no. Am I looking at that right? That's right. Thank you. September 13th was the originals, then we would move it to Tuesday, September 7th.
Any discussion on this item?
We need to move to make the changes.
We probably need an amendment changing the September meeting date.
Okay, I'll move to make the September meeting date, business meeting for September 7th.
A motion to amend to change the September date from the 13th to September 7th. Do we have a second to that motion?
Second.
I have a second. We're just talking about the amendment. Any discussion on the amendment? Hearing no discussion on the amendment, we will vote on the amendment. This is just the amendment. All in favor of approving the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The amendment passes. We're back on the main motion, which is the calendar as amended. Any discussion on the calendar? Hearing no discussion on the calendar, all in favor of approving the calendar as amended, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item.
Next item is discussion action on the superintendent's surety bond amount. This is statutorily required that we share this and that the board approve it. The superintendent's surety bond has gone down for 21-22 from $1,256,909 to $1,198,882, and that went down because we're carrying less money in our LGIP account, which is where the USDA proceeds are held. So it goes down slightly. It's obviously a percentage of the total holdings.
Very good. Is there a motion to get this item on the floor?
I'll move.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this item? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item.
No additional items on this evening's agenda.
Harrison.
Can I circle back to, I wanted to ask a question in the superintendent's report on something we talked about last week, and you were going to have a meeting, and I didn't know if you had an update about absences for next year and how that would tie into quarantine and truancy laws and things, and if you had an update for the board on that.
Thank you. Yes, I did have what I hope was, it felt like a productive conversation with the executive director of the State Board of Education, Sarah Hayburn Morrison, and she was certainly receptive to the concerns. I think hopefully I was able to provide some clarification on why the homebound approach is not a good fit and is not applicable, and in fact may cause some unintended consequences in terms of truancy and other things. So she said she was going to take that back to her team and talk specifically about the possibility of looking at how we can use coding for absences to maybe allow some of those things. So there's no concrete action, but I do believe it's an ongoing conversation. So thank you for the reminder.
Are there any announcements?
So I'm going to circle back to the 2020-2021 school board meeting date. We had mentioned June possibly having one meeting instead of two, or a couple of us. I knew I was going to be out of town one of those meetings. We need to discuss that, go back and put that on the agenda, or how do we handle it?
Would you like to make a motion to reconsider?
I would love to make a motion to reconsider.
I want to be clear, and she said it correctly, but we're talking about the current schedule.
I apologize. I thought you were talking about we do not need a motion to reconsider. Ms. Thomas, if you'd like to make a motion to amend our current calendar, you're welcome to do that.
Or would you like to just follow up with each of us after, and then we can see if we can go with one meeting in June instead of two?
We would need to vote on the change, so we would actually have to vote tonight because our next meeting is June, we wanted a change.
Well, we could just cancel the work session, I suppose, because I think is that what's being proposed?
What's the date in question that we?
Yeah, I can't find it on the calendar, that's why I was trying to
Joke,
find
but the
it.
hardest thing we do is pick dates, I promise.
We've got, the work session is June 7th, the business meeting is June 14th.
Which date did we have conflicts with?
Sorry, I'll be gone on the 14th, but I don't know if anybody has a similar issue. And if not, then I'll just be out and we'll have the 2 meetings.
I'm available for whatever, for both, or if we want to move the business meeting to where you can be available, I have no objection to either way. I don't know Jeremy's schedule, but I'm certainly available to do either way.
I have no conflicts, so I'm good.
On behalf of Ms. Thomas, I would like to make a motion that we amend our current calendar to have one business meeting on June 7th and cancel the current scheduled business meeting. That would also eliminate our work session.
Is it June 6th or 7th, just for clarity?
We would cancel the 14th and meet on the 7th.
Okay, got it.
Is there a second to
I
that
will
motion?
second that.
Ms. Harrison has seconded the motion. Any discussion on the motion?
So just to be clear, our business meeting becomes the June 7th meeting, and we don't have a meeting on the 14th.
It
Correct.
passes, yes, that is 100%.
If it passes.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Madam Recorder, were you able to get that?
Trying to remember to hold down the button, sorry.
Any further business or announcements that need to come before the board? Ms. Harrison.
I have a couple of announcements. First, I want to say an early congratulations to the 8th graders in our promotion ceremony coming up next week. Exciting time to be able to actually celebrate these 8th graders. So, so that's on Tuesday night, so an early congratulations to them, and early congratulations to the seniors, which I have one, I'm gonna start crying. On the 17th, our Lakeland seniors graduating from Arlington High School, and certainly the whole class of Arlington High School. It's been a great class, and so I want to say congratulations to all those students. Congratulations to softball and baseball. I think I've seen they've wrapped up their season, so great job on a first season. It looked like everything went well, so I want to say a huge congratulations to them. If you've missed it, there's a drama production online, or just kind of an announcement for the public. The drama club actually did get to put on a drama production this year, so I have it written down as May 21st and 22nd. It's available online. I think that's right. Band concert tonight. Certainly, I'm excited about that. We actually got a virtual band performance where we can see it as parents and kind of see the progress the kids have made. So very excited of what all of our fine arts teachers have done this year, even in light of COVID. It's really exciting to have those things still go on and keep our students engaged. And the last one, I know there was some questions about TN Ready and when the results were going to be available. They should be available now, like their historical, not this year's, but their historical results, since our testing window is closed. And they can now, is that correct? It should be available,
Is it May 14th?
I think, maybe. I don't know. What is our
Not there
testing
yet.
window? Is it May 14th?
I don't know the date on that.
Is that right?
It's technically May 14th.
Okay. So just a reminder that, because I know some parents have been asking, I've gotten 2 or 3 messages about it, that May 14th is the date it becomes available. So for parents, reminder, they won't see this year's results, but they can see prior year's results, because some parents were questioning if you could see this year's. I was like, no, you won't see this year. So just a reminder that those results would be available online. I guess it's the end of this week, is that? Friday. Yeah, okay. So, and I think that's my whole list. I wrote it all down so I'd remember.
Any other announcements? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll move.
You have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We are adjourned.